at this, huh? Jack, if you fix your...
If I fix my weight screen, is that what you're asking me?
Oh,
No, I have not.
man. That is nice right there, Jack. That is... I like where your head's at here.
Yeah, I'm very professional.
Jack goes, hold on, I want to get a bloodthirster because I'm really excited about them right now. And I go, okay, you have to find it right now.
You can see where that got me.
It's fantastic. Oh, I would love to have a cartoon series. I'm already a cartoon. I live my life as a caricature, so. Jack,
See,
let's talk about some list stuff, man. We've been gone for a little bit.
Oh, I mean, there have been some people taking over our Fix My Lists, but they just, no offense to them, obviously, but they just can't compare.
Oh, all of the offense. I don't even know what you're talking about. That's just crazy talk.
I mean, yes, all the offense, but I didn't want them to be offended.
Sometimes you have to accept that and move on with your life.
It's true.
I'm ready to talk about some stuff. I'm going to talk about some boom boom pow. Got to get me some boom boom pow. All right.
Yeah, because there's a... Ooh, actually, I know what I'm going to do.
There's a
Oh,
bloodthirster
this is
here.
so easy.
There
Oh.
is a bloodthirster, and it makes me excited.
Yeah, there's a bloodthirster, and it's also the bloodthirster I like.
The Brazen Hide, Rage Unchained, Blood Drinker Talisman. Tell me
That's
why
right.
you like this guy so much.
All right, so let's go over what this dude does. So first off, between Argath, King of Blades, and Blood Drinker Talisman, I'm not 100% sure. I could go either way. There we go. That's my background. Powerful.
The power and the glory,
Exactly.
my friend.
Yeah, so do you see my background right now?
It is just a zoomed in picture of Brad.
That's correct. All right, so let's look at this guy. So what does he do? He has a 5 of Feel No Pain from Brazen Hide with 20 wounds. That's kind of a lot of wounds. That's 30 effective wounds.
It's a lot of wounds.
It's a lot. It's a lot to get through. He's Toughness 8 with a 4-up in combat and shooting, which means that you are just going to have a very annoying time trying to deal with him with a 5 of Feel No Pain. Then he has Rage Unchained, which is not the 8-wound phase cap. I don't actually like the 8-wound phase cap very much. I think that you get phase capped twice and then your guy's useless and whatever, because they bracket terribly. Like, they bracket in weapon skill, attacks, and movement. It's bad.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I'm not a big fan of. The big boy here is he has to get in there, and if you bracket him, he effectively just gets insta crippled, and his usefulness goes way down.
Yes, but what if he counted as double wounds for the purpose of degradation?
Seems better.
Yeah, that's Rage Unchained. So I like that. And then Blood Drinker Talisman or Argath, King of Blades, either of which is defensible in my mind. I need to play with them more to find out which one I like better. Currently, I'm on Blood Drinker Talisman. What that does is whenever you kill a model on a 5+, you heal wound. With 5 up Feel No Pain is essentially 1.5 wounds on average every time you kill a model and roll 5+. So he rocks up to a unit and he just cuts the unit in half, and then he'll get like 3 wounds back, 2 wounds back, something like that.
So let's talk about the rest of the list here. We got Bellicor, who's a big dog, 10 Bloodletters, 2 units of Flamers, 1/5, 1/4, a Fate Skimmer, 10 Daemonettes, an Exalted Flamer, an Infernal Enrapturous, a Contorted Epitome, 10 Daemonettes, and 5 Fiends. All right, here's my first thoughts. I feel like we're kind of all over the place a little bit here, and I want a little more focus on what we're trying to do. Also, I would like to see a little more juice in these troops. Are we trying to do something with these troops? Because right now it just looks like they're token objective holders, and we have a little bit of stuff all over the place, and I'd like to hit a little bit harder.
Yeah, I'm a little confused as to why this is a triple patrol.
Yes, that's also I was just gonna leave that for just a moment. I wanted to talk about the content first, and then we'll fix this detachment issue, because there's no real reason besides burning CP. We definitely don't need triple.
Yeah, I mean, so He unlocks the Slanesh Warp Storm chart, which is fine. It's not amazing. The best one on there is +1 to charge for all your Slanesh stuff, or +1 advance or charge.
Yeah, but I
And
don't
then
really
they
care
come
about
out of
that. I
reserves
mean, I
and
guess
charge.
Bellacor's got a
Yeah,
lot worse, but
Nah.
I
I
just,
personally would like having some amount of CP in this list.
yeah, I'd like
And
some CP, but also I'd
yeah,
like I said, I'd like a little bit of focus here. I feel like we're a little bit, a lot of our units are just a little throwaway, and I'd like to hit more
yeah,
than just the big boys.
yeah. I feel like the Enrapturous and the Epitome are nice, but like I don't really know why they're in that entire third detachment. Honestly, I don't really know why it's there. The
Yeah,
other two, I get.
the epitome
I
you
get
could
those.
lead against psychic armies, but your opponent's gonna just kind of move around that. To be honest, you know what I mean. You're gonna get like a turn of that maybe. After that, they're just gonna get there anyways. You need to be hitting there. You need to be hitting hard and fast.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of hang back with demons because their secondary game is pretty good. It's not Necron's good, but it is pretty good.
It is for you. I just like Nurgle Matt. It goes max assassination points. Let's go.
Let's go, boys. Yeah. I mean, Assassinate is kind of a trap because if they pick it, they have to start running at you, and you can sit back on Reality Rebels, which, Brad, do you know what Reality Rebels does?
Tell me about Reality Rebels, my friend, for everybody.
So Reality Rebels is a really good secondary. At the end of your turn, you count every quarter you have a unit in. If you have more units in that quarter than your opponent does, you get a point for each quarter. And if you're within 6 inches of the center, you get a point.
Weird. It kind of feels like the Necron secondary.
It feels like the Necron secondary, but where you don't have to kill them out of your quarters.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, you just have to have more. Which, speaking of more, I would like more bodies.
Yes, I want more bodies. I like the Bloodthirster Bellicor combo. I like having a Fate Skimmer. That all I agree with. Fate Skimmer has good powers. I mean, let me see the powers that he actually put on here. I made this graphic.
He's a
It
Fate
was last
Infernal
night at late
Flames.
in the morning or late at night. So
I'm fine with what he's got on this. I do like the Fate Skimmer also because I think it looks cool, and that's
yeah.
the rule of cool, especially for demons, goes a long way. To be honest, because there's some sweet models. Like I just kind of want a Bloodthirster because, well, they look awesome. But
They do look awesome. Also, this guy bangs.
yeah.
I mean, he has 8 attacks. He rerolls once to hit if he's near Bellicor, which is super cool.
Where is my Bellicor? Oh, the one that I was
So-
supposed to take to Sniggs' house 6 months ago.
He has 8 attacks, rerolls ones to hit, hits on 2s. Is strength 16, AP 4, damage 3 plus D3, or he has a sweep attack, which is strength 8, AP 3, damage 2, 16 attacks.
The damage 2 on a sweep attack is a huge deal because you're actually picking up standard marine type bodies really effectively, and that's really awesome. You know what I mean?
There is a possible upgrade, which is you take Argath, King of Blades, instead of Blooddrinker Talisman, which I'm wishy-washy on. I wish this were like, what was it, 8th edition, where you could just choose your relics at the table, but you can't. Maybe it was the 7th. I don't really remember. It all washes together. But Argath, King of Blades, says, hey, your melee weapons have +1 damage, so that'd be D3 plus 4, thank you very much, and 3 damage sweep attacks, which is pretty hot.
3 damage sweep attacks is Chad. That is Chad Chester and Jackie Harpoon style.
That's right. But that's not all it does. It also lets you ignore hit and wound modifiers. So you just rock up to Bellicor and you hit and wound him on 2s with D3 plus 4 damage. You're like,
that's a big deal on a lot of things. What are we replacing on that?
It would be Blooddrinker Talisman. So like, I'm not sure whether the sustain, which has been very good when I've played it, is better than just being like, I have a clobbering amount of damage. Now.
I lean, to tell you the truth, I lean towards output almost always. So I think I lean towards that. I do like having a big boy that's difficult to kill, but typically I like my output more than I like my defensive stats because most of the time people will find a way to kill something if they need to kill something. And it depends on the meta, to be honest. If we've got enough stuff that's trying to give me negatives and or making me hit on 4s and whatnot, it would be nice to just go, yeah, that's stupid. This guy's going to kill everyone. And that makes me happy.
It's great in the mirror because you just have a tool where your Be'lakor rocks up to their Be'lakor, deposits a Bloodthirster directly to his face, and then kills him.
Never feels bad.
Yeah.
This is a good question, by the way. Now that we're looking at this list, exceptions like, do you guys think demons will be prevalent enough to warrant never taking 11 plus models because of the flamers? I don't know yet. We got to see a couple weeks of what's happening here. I never like to limit myself on any one thing. It depends on how the meta's looking. If we're getting a lot of obviously blast type weapons, and it depends on what you're taking. If you're taking huge squads, and it makes it so it's more difficult for you to play if you're playing a horde type list, then you just kind of accept that fact and move on. If you've only got a couple squads and they're just sitting at 11, I might think of going 10s.
Yeah. I mean, I personally would shy away from going to it, like adding that 11th model to a crisis unit. It gets a little rough, right? Because if you want to make a big defensive unit, you basically have to go 11 or more if you want to go crisis. But yeah, I would probably steer away for now, just because it makes them so much easier to kill from flamers. But
it's just so many extra hits.
It's so many hits.
Yeah, it's crazy time on that.
Yeah, Seeks found out during a stream game. He's still salty about it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Jack, what do we want to put in here? Because I don't like this last patrol, and I'd like to make every part of that more stuff. You know,
yeah,
hold on. I've been gone for a bit. Do we want more beef or do we want more trash?
Oh, man. The age-old debate, beef or trash. I think this list wants more trash. What do you feel?
I always want. You know how I feel about that, Jack. Give me some trash, baby. Come on.
So let's talk about what we're cutting. This entire third patrol, I think, is going to sleep.
Yeah, let's just. I'm 100% on board with that. I think we have too many characters right now. I want big bangers as my characters, and I want to get rid of some of the nonsense. And I'd like my nonsense to hit a little bit harder. I'd like my trash to be trash, and I'd like to have a little more beef in here.
I don't know. I think it's got the beef. I mean, have you seen the size of the muscles on that Bloodthirster? That dude is.
Those dudes are jacked. I mean, the Bloodthirster Be'lakor combination. To tell you the truth, the Bloodthirster Be'lakor Fate Skimmer combination is actually pretty crazy. You put that triangle together, you move up that mid objective, especially if you got a good piece of blocking, and go. Stuff's gonna happen in a minute.
Yeah, that's like the combo that I'm on right now, pretty much, is Bloodthirster Be'lakor, and then either a Lord of Change and a Herald, or just a Fate Skimmer, because cutting points and, etc. I think that combination is insane. You can also, I mean, the one thing I want, and the one thing the Enrapturous gives you, is the ability to deep strike both Be'lakor and the Bloodthirster if your opponent happens to be playing like Tau or something with hammerheads that are just like, oh, look, I rolled good and you rolled bad. Be'lakor dies now. But against Tau, you can probably take it pretty slow. Just keep them off with your flamers and your good secondaries. And then at some point, double up your -1 leadership, run a Fate Skimmer near an opponent, and Be'lakor and Bloodthirster just appear next to it like bouncers at a bar, and just turbo flip that unit into oblivion.
Let's talk about that real quick, because I think that makes more sense when we talk about the actual rule for everybody, because demons have not been out very, very long. So
that's true.
Because of the fact that demons can actually get closer deep strikes based on the leaderships. So tell everybody about that real quick.
So here's the way it works, right? If you're pure demons, what you get is you get an ability to deep strike across the board in a weird way. You get to deep strike normally if you're in your opponent's deployment zone, 9 inches away, nothing crazy. If you're in your deployment zone, you get to deep strike 3 inches away, which really helps keep your opponent off you. Like, they do not want to run into a 3-inch charge off a Bloodthirster. But in midboard, you get to deep strike a distance away from units equal to their leadership. And that is super powerful when all demons are an aura of -1 leadership, -1 combat attrition, which you can double up for 3 warp storm points. Jake says that now that Brad has asked for more trash, it really feels like he's going to fix my list again. Me too, buddy. Me too. I really think a lot of fix my list and a lot of like designing your lists is deciding whether a list wants more beef or more trash.
It is a big deal though, because of the fact, and this is the thing when you're looking at your list, there's a couple things we have to go. One, can your list get damage checked? Uh-oh, well, I'm going to pause that and look at the super chat because I saw shiny squirrel and I always go to that. Just because I love you guys, but I'm never able to catch you live. Yes. Love you too, buddy.
Thank you.
Woo,
Thank you,
woo.
Inception.
But
Glad we could catch you live.
when you're looking at your list, you have to look at, do I have enough damage? Period. Jax called me out on trying to be too cute.
I
months
did
and
the
months ago.
same thing yesterday, Brad. I took an Elder list that had so many cool combos and was so dope, and then I ran it into Nick's on stream into his Thousand Suns and just could not scratch the paint.
Yeah.
And he just ran me over.
And you just need a minimum amount of damage to make sure that someone can't just go, strategy be damned, here's my army, figure it out. The second thing is, how am I scoring my game? How am I scoring? What am I doing? Who's taking my objectives? Who's boxing out? How am I winning? Because it's not about just killing crap. It's about killing crap and scoring. So you win the game and you don't go, I tabled my opponent and I lost by 20. So you have to figure out, what are my secondaries? What is my game plan? And that's what we're kind of doing right now, is we're trying to figure out, what in this list do we need extra? We've got some bangers. We're going to hang out. We're going to throw down some big right hands. And we're going to put people down. How are we scoring? We've got some good secondaries. How are we utilizing all of that in this list?
Yeah, well, Bloodthirster and Bellacor's job is just to keep your opponent off you. I've done some theory crafting here, but I don't know if it's correct yet until I play it. Bloodthirster and Bellacor's job is to keep your opponent off you, while the rest of your list either messes with their secondaries, messes with their primaries, or scores your points. Flamers also are just like surgical, you die now tools. And those are really, really good. They're also very durable, but the rest of your list is designed to do your job, while the Bloodthirster and Be'lakor die in your opponent's, taking up your opponent's entire focus. And that might just be that the Bloodthirster and potentially against some shooting armies, Be'lakor start in reserve, and your opponent goes, well, if I come anywhere near your deployment zone, I'm getting charged.
Oh, automatically, basically.
Yeah. And Be'lakor, by the way, Warp Locust, which the Infernal and Raptures has and Be'lakor has, is an alternate way to deep strike down, which you can do even if you're not a pure Demons army. You just deep strike within 6 inches of the Warp Locust, and then you can do whatever you want after that. You just have to be 6 inches away from your opponent. So 6-inch charge as opposed to a 9-inch normal charge.
I think
good.
a 6-inch and rock that.
Yeah. It only works on the same demon god, right? The same allegiance. So Infernal and Raptures only works on Slanesh. Be'lakor works on everybody.
I was going to say, Be'lakor works on everybody because he's got all of the marks. He's selling. He's at the market. Like, what holy symbol do you need, buddy? I got it.
He just reaches deep into his cape, pulls out a cross, and you're like, no, not that one. He reaches back,
He's like, I got all of them, man. I'm good to go.
Yeah. So with Be'lakor, he also has an aura of -1 leadership that stacks with the demon aura -1 leadership. And then you can make an additional -1. So he can make you -3 leadership, -2 combat attrition, which is also functionally, like against a lot of people, a Warp Locust, right? Leadership 8 becomes leadership 5. You deep strike 5 inches away. Haha, gotcha. So that they keep your opponent off of you. And even deep striking both of them, your opponent's going to be very cautious of a Fate Skimmer rocking up, giving the -2 leadership with the 3 warp charge points, and just going, boom, Bloodthirster and Be'lakor, eat that now. So that's a very strong part of the list. The rest of it is designed to score points. So let's design it to score points. We have a Fate Skimmer. That dude can just do Warp Ritual, can do Psychic Interrogation, which opens up an entire new secondary. I probably want another Herald in there, if I'm being 100% honest. The Contorted Epitome was pretty good for doing Warp Ritual as well. I probably just want a Herald on a disc or a second Fate Skimmer. Nick's on this 2 Fate Skimmer plan, and I think it's not bad. After that, I just want Flamers and Troops. And that's basically...
I was just going to say...
divide the list by Flamers.
We had a couple things in here I was going to shoot at. I am very happy about the Knights in the White Scars. That makes me super excited. Greatest weakness of Demons is they usually have a low model count, especially with the big boy list. So you can play around them, which is
Also, greatest weaknesses of demons, as far as I've managed to see, is mortal wounds. They do not like mortal wounds, which they just don't.
I was just saying it kind of goes into the low model count. Any
Yeah.
of those elite type armies have problems with that because you start losing. We're definitely getting rid of these 3 patrols.
Yeah, the third patrol, I can see staying with 2 because you start with 2 CP at that point. Nick also has an interesting thing he thought of in his list. I also thought of it separately, but I didn't put it in the list yet, so he gets the credit. You give one of the Fate Skimmers the Endless Grimoire, which basically means every turn they'll learn a new power. So, kind of turns him into Fate Weaver where he knows all the powers, So turn 1, you only have the powers you know, but you can then spec into a third one, and then you can cast 2 and spec into a 4th, and the whole thing. You can also 1 CP cast an additional, so that Fate Skimmer's rocking around just casting every power in the game. And it's pretty good. I actually really like that.
Get behind
Yeah.
that mojo. But we need more stuff. I need more troops. I need more trash.
Do need more trash. I don't know if the list needs more than 2 squads of flamers, honestly. You can just divide the rest of the points by troops. Bloodletters and demonettes, and I like blue horrors a lot for this.
I was just gonna say I'd like to see some blue horrors in here just because they're annoying.
Yeah, blue horrors just screen out a backfield really cheaply, really well, and are just the most obnoxious to try and kill on the face of the planet. They're so annoying.
Yeah,
because they're cheap, but when you shoot them, they have a 4-up invuln, and a lot of the time you're spending 3 warp sword points to make them -1 to hit, and then they have a 4-up invuln, and then if you don't kill the unit, which most of the time you're not, because they have a 4-up invuln, or not invuln, then they split and they get more models and they extend in a different direction. It's just annoying. So yeah,
we need to talk about the Snivar here.
21
of course,
months, we always
too.
have to talk about Snivar.
Brad, can you tell the Golden Architect that Chad Champion is far superior to a Terminator Captain? On a serious note, how is Custodes versus Demon matchup? That's a good question, actually.
So, Snivar, for calling me the Golden Architect, I will love you probably forever. Yeah, probably. That the Chad Champion is far superior to a Terminator Captain. Well, if you watch our YouTube game today, I have a Blade Champion. I love the Blade Champion.
Chad Champion is a boss, by the way.
The Chad Champion is a boss. It's a shame that he has a 3-up armor save against shooting and does not give out reroll 1s. But he is very hard to kill in combat, so I do like him.
He is a boss in combat, though. Dude, that guy... the best part is when people go, wait a second, what's he do again? As he's just slaughtering. Ah!
I just imagine he's spinning like Garen in League of Legends, just spin to win, just like a Beyblade around
just
the board.
Spamming the button. Let's do this.
Because I gave him the big sword, not the 2. I gave him the big sword and I painted him up, and I just imagine him just spin. This is the game today where we're doing Crusade or whatever, because somebody liked that we didn't like it last time, and then they donated enough to make us do Crusade again. So it's like, all right, fine, buddy, you got it.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Custodes versus Demons is a weird match. If you're looking at the list that Jack made for WTC, that's a really weird matchup, and I think that it's really based on what mission you're playing, because the farther you are away, the more that it's going to be real annoying as the Caladiuses just dance around so much while there's a big fight happening between big boys in the middle.
I will say Caladiuses are kind of trash against the big guys, but they will clear out your backfield stat.
I was going to say that's more what I'm looking at, though, because they're going to get those angles right away. So that's what I'm looking at. Is can the demon player break through the middle to basically get back to their backfield as their backfield's getting destroyed? Because you're going to have a hard time scoring points because the Caladiuses will be able to pick up your objective takers quickly.
Yeah, so like I actually think the matchup, I mean the -1 to hit, just if you're more than 12 inches away, warp storm effect is massive here because the Caladius don't have any rerolls or anything. So just -1 to hit is going to just stick. That helps a lot. If you can just spam that out every turn, it'll really cut down on the speed that they kill you, because it's 14 shots. that will hit on 3s there. So that's like 9 hits, and a wound on 2, so let's say 8. And then you have a 4-up save mostly against it. So each Caladius will kill 4, troops. If they're blue horrors, it's like you did nothing because 2 brims come back, and it's like, all right, so I shot all 3 Caladius at 170 point brim unit, or 170 point blue horror unit, didn't kill it. So that's pretty good. Against Bloodletters, it does take all 3 to like kill 1 Bloodletter squad. Like, I don't think it's actually as efficient as you might want it to be because everybody is a 4-up invul. It's like shooting.
It's just they have a hard time getting to. So you have two plus turns to be shooting without worrying about stuff.
That is true. They're kind of trash at killing flamers as well because the 3-up is just like, hey, stop.
Everybody's kind of trash at killing flamers though.
That is true.
But and Snaver's right about that. The list, the WTC list, George, has legs.
Oh yeah, it's got super legs.
And he's correct in this. It does hate the Tau matchup because they can just sit and nuke stuff. But almost everybody hates the Tau matchup. So let's be honest.
Yeah, nobody loves. Well, Necrons on GW terrain are like what Tau.
That's true. You just sit there and go, what?
But yeah, that list has a lot of legs. It really has 2 speeds depending on whether you go first or the reason you call me the Golden Architect is because I designed the list. So it has 2 speeds, which is like, if I go first, it's all out aggression because your secondaries, the secondary we have to hold more objectives in the center of the board than they do at the end of the battle round. You have to use pure pressure to get that, and you can, and then you run your opponent over. That's the game plan. If you go second, then grind them down, and that secondary are actually not bad because you have a lot more information, and then you have a decent secondary game, and you can play like a little more conservative, but like it's still, a giant golden brick to your opponent's face. Snivar says it's got swole gold legs. I would agree.
Skip leg day. Well,
all right.
Let's move on because what we're basically going to do is we're killing this last patrol. We're adding troops. I might actually add one more Exalted Flamer, to be honest. and
I would probably cut the third patrol and go up to 3x5 flamers, and then just every other point goes into troops.
Yeah, I want some blues for sure.
Because like 5 flamers and Exalted Flamer is the elite slot, and it is hot to business. And then everything else goes into troops, and I actually really like that army, and it's somewhat similar to what I'm running.
Yeah, I'm in like Flynn. Boys, we've got some orcs.
Finally. All right, so forever there have been people in the comment section being like, well, this is a clear Art of War bias against orcs. They never put on an orc list. They never do it. And I'm sitting here every week making the graphic, seeing 0 orc lists in there, being like, what am I supposed to do? There's no orc lists in the Discord. Somebody finally provided one. It wasn't in an obnoxious format, but
Tell me,
is there just what we have to do?
Is there any notes on this thing? Is there anything that is sacred that I can't touch in this list?
Well, let's talk about Makari here, which I'm not sure if you can actually take Makari in this list. And then we get to that.
He's Gazgul's
The reason
banner
I'm not sure if you can.
Banner waver,
So he doesn't take up a slot. The question is, so I read the rules specifically, and it says, if Gazgul's your warlord, or not if he's your warlord, if he is in a detachment in your army, then Makari can be included in that detachment without taking up a slot.
But there's no slots in a Supreme Command.
There's no slots in a Supreme Command.
Yeah.
So the question is, does Makari go in that Supreme Command? Because if he does, cool, but I don't think he does. And then he can't go in the battalion because he doesn't take up a slot in Gazgul's detachment. So you may just have to cut Makari in this. Unsure about the ruling exactly on that. Some events I think let you put Cypher with Abaddon, right? Some people do let you put HQ, no slot HQ in a Supreme Command. Some people don't. Ask your TO. So looking at this, I like the Beast Boss on Squigosaur.
Notes, no notes.
No notes. Let me see if there were notes. I don't think there were. I think he just came in to save us from the tide of people asking for
I'm gonna give
orc lists and yet not providing them.
I'll give Epic unpopular opinion on this because I kind of just don't want gas going here. There's so much more stuff we could get without gas.
So this is the we're on the half of it where it's more trash, not more beef.
Yeah, because well, I mean, I want more. I mean, we got like little baby units, like the three times
Zero notes.
three Skig Boys, a little baby 5 Storm Boy unit, 5 Commando unit. We got a big thing of 10 Burner Boys. But I just like to see more stuff. It's orcs. I want to steal things.
It looks like Jacob Majeres in chat is the Snail Warden.
Oh, awesome. Are you sold on Gaz? Is he awesome? Like, have you got him super sweet painted? Because again, rule of cool always applies. So
Bradley, I don't think Gazgul's bad.
I don't think Brad Gilsell's bad at all.
I think Gazgul is totally fine to include.
He beats. However, I'd like more stuff. I want more. If we're gonna take some Squig Boys, I'd like maybe more Squig Boys. I'd like to see a bigger unit of Squig Boys. I don't really know if I need the big mech with custom force field. I'd like to cut this weird boy.
So let's look through the list because on first pass there's some things I just want to delete that don't really 100% fit with the Goths, like I'm going to jam my army down your throat, please die now game plan.
Yeah, I mean, the Beast Boss and Squiggy Sword is a monster. Brutal Cunning and
Awesome,
Beast Tide
yeah.
Mantle is just a sick combo. That dude's just so smashy. I like having at least 2 units of Beast Snagger Boys to go inside the kill rigs.
Yep, I honestly want 3 kill rigs.
Oh, he's just learning
but
that.
if you're just learning, I wouldn't triple up on a kill rig because
It's
soon as that becomes
it's still difficult to play. You get caught up in that.
Yeah, and as soon as like some balance passes come, then you're left with 3 kill rigs that you don't. I mean, I don't think they're going to get nerfed, honestly, but you know, you never know.
But it is if that's your only thing that you have in your list, though, it's very easy to move block. You have to have extra stuff. You need more going in.
What I really want here is 2 Wazbomb Blaster Jets because 1 is unreliable, but 2 has a lot of shots. Now let's look at how you've kitted them out. So I really want a second Wazbomb because 1 kind of doesn't do anything. 2 is the point where they kill stuff.
Yeah, if you're gonna bring a flyer on that, I want to bring 2 flyers. To be honest.
Yeah, and the gun on the Wazbombs that you want real bad is the Teleport Mega Blaster.
Yep.
That gun hits ungodly hard, like real hard. And with Gazgul, you're gonna get your regular Wog. And you're going to get the Speed Wog, which means you get the AP3 on those guns, and that is the point where it's like, yeah, you just die. So I would take off the Super Shooters. I would take the Teleport Mega Blasters, and that should leave you at 190, I want to say. You can leave off the Force Field because you have a big mech with custom Force Field, which can... you know what? I'm not going to 100% say it can extend to the planes, but I think it can. I'm gonna double check that.
We only need 1 force field for the 2 planes, anyways. I kind of want to get rid of the big mech, anyways.
I like the big mech actually. Let me defend that.
Yeah. I want some more stuff.
I like I want to get rid of the weird boy on it. Well, Warp Ritual is nice.
Weird boy's good.
But so the force field booster, friendly Orcs unit is within 9. Yeah, so I would get rid of the force field on the blaster jet because you already have a custom force field Big Mac that you're activating if you go second. And the reason I like that is because you have your Wog, right? And your Wog is has a 5-up invuln attached to it. So there's a bit of a disconnect when you want to use it. Do you want to use it turn 1 when you're going to be taking the most fire? Or do you want to use it to get your advance and charge? And with the Big Mac with custom force field, you can activate that turn 1 and then turn 2 activate your Wog in order to advance and charge and get a second turn of a 5-up invuln. And that's really annoying to your opponent. So I would cut the... I mean, I know Brad's about to say some words, and I'm just keep going so he can't get to. You know, ha ha ha.
I'll talk over it.
I would take a second Wazbomb Blaster Jet, and as long as you have the Big Mech with custom force field, I would just keep them with 2 Teleport Mega Blasters and leave them.
I want more commandos.
I get wanting more commandos. I don't want the Burner Boys.
I was to say, I'd like to trade the Burner Boys in for more commandos. Commandos hit hard in Goffs. and I want some forward deploying units to take over some of these objectives early on. They help a lot. Forward deploying units are just a must have if you have the access to them. So many missions, but you just want to start behind cover and just sit there, and it's fantastic. A lot of people don't have the ability to get there. I also would like, to tell you the truth, I might like the one. I do want to think about one more character though, because the jump pack. Why can I not think of his name? Who's the jump pack character? Everyone.
Zagstruk.
Zagstruk. That dude's a monster.
Yeah. I think I want to replace the weird boy with Zagstruk.
We need 50 points now because he's $120.
He is a bit expensive. I think he's a little cheaper than that. So what I want to do is I want to free up points for a second Wazbomb, and I want to get Zagstruk in here, and then I feel much better about this.
I do want more commandos.
Yeah, I see that too. So the Burner Boys, Jacob says he was thinking Burner Boys would hold the middle.
They won't.
So the problem with Burner Boys is while their damage output, I'm not even going to say it's great. It's fine. It's all right. They all have flamers, and so you'd think like they have a short range weapon. We'll put them in the middle. They don't hold up in a fight.
Yeah.
They die really fast. Now they are only 130. Yeah, Zagstruk's 110.
110. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
They don't hold up in a fight, and you probably will learn this after you play a bunch with the army. But 10 Burner Boys will just collapse the moment your opponent looks at them, and they don't really hold the middle. Whereas commandos that just don't charge your opponent, just bury themselves onto objectives, behind terrain, things like that, and just make your opponent dig them out because they have a 3-up armor save against shooting if they're in cover. It's ridiculous.
Plus they bang.
Plus they do bang when your opponent gets close to them, and then you just cut them in half with a power claw.
It also gives you an option for some matches to be very aggressive if you need to. So
yeah,
it's that threat. So I would like double commandos for sure.
Yeah, I would say cut the Burner Boys and add in a second commando unit. I want to get rid of some of these fast attack slots. I feel like they're not going to do that much. You either invest in a slot or it's just a little trash unit. And I think what I want is I want more beef in this. Like I want to, as I said, a second Blastojet would really get my juices flowing.
Blastojet we have so many points though, because between Gasgul and 2 Wazboom Blastas, it's a lot of points, man.
And 2 kill rigs.
Yeah. We've got a lot of points tied up in that.
Yeah, and it's totally fine. Because double Wazbomb Blastojet
bangs. It does
will
bang.
just table people by itself if they don't deal with it.
The thing is that if they don't address the Wazboom Blastas, things are happening, and if they're addressing the Wazboom Blastas, the kill rigs get to move up. So
yeah, that's why I like triple kill rig, double Wazbomb, and then you fill out the rest with like commandos and one squad of Gretchen, 3 squads of Beast Snag Boys.
I like the double. So let's go with, we got double. I mean, right now we get triple Beast Snaggers. I don't hate that. I'd like double commandos for sure. I'd like to put in Zagstruk for sure because he just hits hard and he can basically just tag along with the kill rigs.
So keeping track of the points on that, if we replace the Burner Boys with another 5 commandos, right? We end up with 70 points, 40 of which have to go into the Weird Boy in order to turn him into Zagstruk. So we have 30 points left. What I want to do is I want to cut one of the squads of Beast Snagga Boys because they're not in a ride, which will give us 130. Then if we cut the 5 Storm Boys, that gives us 180.
80, and then
we cut the Wazbomb down to 190. Slot a second Wazbomb in. We're good to go, boys.
Actually, I like that significantly more.
Yeah, you can cut the Squig Hog Boys and turn them into more commandos, and cut the Mech Gun and turn it into more commandos. That's probably what I would end up doing. Or you just cut the Squig Hog Boys to get the points you need and turn it into a second unit Storm Boys. So 5/5 commandos, 5/5 Storm Boys, double Wazbomb, double Kill Rig Mech Gun, 2 units of Beast Snaggas, 2 units of Gretchen, Gazgul. Makari's gone, so you get 50 extra points. I don't think he's legal in that slot, but you would have to check. And then
I'd be happy with triple commandos, to be honest.
Yeah,
commandos hit so hard as Goffs, and they let you set up in the best possible places on the board.
Yeah. I mean, let me do some math real quick. Like
I like that. I like the double Gretchen model.
Cost.
It just lets you just cheaply take your backfield.
Yep, and they also do, if you put pressure on your opponent, you can do get to good bits insanely well. Yeah, so commandos, I'm looking them up. How many points? They are now, so they're 11 points per model with a power claw being 5, so 60.
60 points.
So they're 115 for 10 of them with a power claw. It's pretty not crazy, honestly.
They
Beast
bang.
Boss on Squigosaur. Yeah, they bang. They really do. Big Mech with custom force field. Boss Zagstruk. 2 Beast Snagaboys. 2 Squads of Gretchen. Let's call it 30 commandos because we're being real generous here.
I don't know if we're gonna go with 30
230,
commandos at that point.
330.
I could go 2 5s and a 10.
I mean, we'll cut them back.
We still need points for to get those planes and stuff.
Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to include 30 commandos, and then we'll see how many we have to cut.
I don't hate that.
Okay, so we have to cut 40 points of commandos. Honestly, I mean, what that could be is just cut, cut it down to 5 commandos, and then like 5
The other
storm
thing
boys.
is how many commandos do you own?
That's true. So
before we start telling you to bring 1,000,000 commandos, do you have those?
outside of trash, I'm gonna just calculate some points real fast, and then so outside of trash, we have 305 points. So that's if we take Beast Boss on Squigosaur, Big Mech with Custom Force Field, Boss Zagstruk, 20 Beast Snagaboys, 20 Gretchen, 2 Kill Rigs, 2 Blastojets, Gazgul. We have 305 points left to do whatever we want with. If we include 3 squads of 5 commandos, that leaves us with 125. We can include 2 squads of Storm Boys, probably with Power Claws as well. And then that would let me just double check how much Storm Boys are with Power Claws. But that would give us a lot. Yeah, plus 10, so there's 60 apiece. So that would leave us with 5 points remaining.
I like that option. Let's go with double plane, double kill rig, Gaz, triple commandos, Zagstruk, Beast Boss and Squigosaur, Big Mac, double Beast Snagaboys, double Gretchen.
Yep, and then 2x5 Storm Boys as well with a Power Claw on the Sergeant.
I love it.
Yeah, that list sounds hot, and it also doesn't specialize all in one thing, which is probably good for you starting out.
Yep, and it gives you more. I really like it. Definitely pick up those commandos and things. You're not looking to expose yourself right away as the orcs. You're looking to steal the board, and again, always, even when you're playing aggressive armies, you can't do a whole lot with the kill rigs because they're giant. But you're looking to hide, passive aggressive, hide and then get ready. Just because you're an aggressive army doesn't mean you're exposing yourself to your opponent. You want to basically sit behind those great pieces of cover, take the board, and move up.
I actually really like that list. That would be a list I might legitimately take to like on stream or to an event if I didn't have like demons just coming out.
I mean that's boss. I mean the orcs bang.
This is fun. Yeah.
The orcs bang though. The thing is orcs have play, and they can take the board surprisingly well, and basically make it so that you're just not able to come back. So
Jacob asks, no mech gun. You can replace Uno's Storm Boys with a mech gun. I would probably prefer the Storm Boys, but
I prefer the Storm Boys 1,000,000,000%. They can get to places, they can steal an objective, they can do secondaries and stuff like that.
But yeah, that is probably the list I would go with.
So
that list actually sounds really good. Like that list actually slaps.
Love it. You know what we're
like
gonna do? We're gonna talk about some rapiers.
Yes, Grey Knights. Let's talk about some Grey Knights.
All right, we got a Brotherhood Librarian with stuff. Grandmaster and Nemesis Dread Knight with stuff. Basically, the best thing he has is the sigil. Kaldor Drago, my man.
Yeah, he there. I don't think there were any. There might have been notes. Hold on, let me see. A good day, y'all. I know Terminators have been a love of Art of Wars as of late, but I still think MSU Power Armor Grey Knight list equally as powerful to ensure good trading, mortals from convergence and smites, and speed/board control. And then he says, when he put down Drago in his list, he went, Kaldor, have you ever eaten a tangerine, Drago? Don't know what that means.
He does that warp dust, bro.
That's true. That's true.
You think you could PM the list? I'm putting Jack in charge of it.
You got it. All right, you're going to have to carry this for a second while I type.
So, we've got triple 5-man interceptors. We've got 2 rhinos, 3 units of 5 strikes, 2 units of 3 paladins, 5 purifiers, 5 voidsmen at arms. Man, I want so much different in here. All right. I like bigger units of interceptors. I don't really like having 2 rhinos. I want these paladins to be kind of anything else unless I'm going to bring a big unit of paladin and beef them up, because they're just overpriced at 3 guys and they don't put out enough volume. My biggest problem right now is when you're playing 9th edition period is you have to look at your volume. Like, what kind of volume can I put out? I need enough damage. My output has to be good enough where my opponent can, again, just damage check me and push up. So you can't just rely on being durable, because opponents are going to have damage to put on you. And the thing is you need enough damage to put back on them. So that's a big deal.
So Nick is responding to you in chat in
I missed stuff.
The Art of War Discord. Actually, that's not true. I'm going to type it, but it's going to be on my phone. This is going to be very jank, and you're just going to have to like it.
So I like saying Drago, my man, but I don't know if he belongs in this list at all.
I think, I mean, yeah, who's getting the rerolls is the real question here. Like, this is not like a 10-man unit of Terminators is getting the rerolls. I honestly have fallen a little bit off of the Terminator train. I don't particularly like Terminators that much anymore as like a Terminator spam build.
I would just
if they get cheaper, or if they get something, then sure, in theory it's all good. But
we could literally get 15 more interceptors and this list would be a billion times better, because then we could split them into 5, so we'd have 6 5-mans.
Yeah.
So it would feel really good there. Plus, I'd just like to have more. The body, right? The Silver Tide army right now for Grey Knights is very good, and you get a billion smites. You have options to do things all over. It plays very well into the meta right now. So I'd like to have just more. I love a unit of 5 purifiers, because just doing a flat 3 mortals is super nice to have. I'd like to have 15 more interceptors. I'd like to lose one of these rhinos. I probably want to lose Kaldor. I'd just like to have more stuff. Not even more trash. There's not that much trash, period, in Grey Knights.
In Grey Knights there really aren't. I do want more
trash,
stuff here.
But I just want more.
Yeah, so Amixum, or however that works, says Silver Tide is genuinely a good list. 60 power armor bodies is dope. I agree. I think it's not bad. The problem is this list has like 35.
Right.
And number, those are rookie numbers.
Those are rookie numbers. Yeah, pump up those numbers.
Exactly.
So that's a big deal on this. I want 30 interceptors to start. How about that? We're going to start with that. So I'd like to drop these paladins, to be honest. They just don't give me enough.
Yeah.
And I'd like to drop a rhino.
I don't hate the 3-man. The 3-man paladins are legitimately good as like an MSU choice. The rhinos I want to cut, and Drago I want to cut, and the voidsman I want to cut, and turn it all into just like more interceptors, more purifiers, that sort of thing. Also, the 3-man paladins I really think want are armored resilience and purifying flame, because they can still do purifying flame and just be like, here's a bunch of purifying flames, or you turn them into purifiers. That's up to you as well.
I'd like to get more. I mean, I just want more. First off, I want 15 interceptors. I'm getting part of it from dropping one of these rhinos.
Yeah. So, yeah. Tell you what, Jacob, I will post up the altered list in Fix My List after we're done, because it's taking me a second to type it up. So I will do that, and that way I don't just ignore Brad here for the entire time. Then I'll add it in and I'll post it up.
Brad's okay with talking.
That way, if you want to see the list too, or if you want to submit your own lists, you go into our Discord. If you don't have access to our Discord and you are a member, then you can shoot us a message. And if you don't have access to our Discord and you're not a member, guess what? You need to be a member.
It's a pretty awesome Discord, to be honest.
Yeah, it is a pretty awesome Discord. We have people talking smack constantly about
that is a real thing.
In the best way.
Yeah.
In the best way.
It's actually one of the few chats that I think is actually helpful.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at this. This needs more stuff. It just needs more
We're
bodies.
going with 30 interceptors. One. Boom.
Yeah, interceptors are the best part of the list for
100%.
sure.
So we're
So
going
30
with
interceptors is just a decent number of
it's already
a decent
happening.
number of points. So you gotta fill it up. So if we're looking, let me whip out the.
So we need.
Jacob, you're not bothering me at all.
That's 390 right there. So
yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're gonna take one of these rhinos out. Boom. We need 310.
Yeah. Trusty calculator. 260, 720. So it's 720 points to get 30 interceptors. Perfectly worth it. Plus 330 for the 3 units of strikes. I do like the librarian. I don't think it needs a combi melta. Don't think it needs omen of incursion at all.
Agree on both.
So that puts him down to 105. I really want him, instead of having unyielding anvil, I want him to have psychic epitome. So he just amps out the mortal wounds.
Yeah, that's kind of what he's trying to do in the first place.
Yeah, just something to remember for everyone using psychic epitome is this dude is not a. Not this dude. Brain fart. Smite is not a witchfire. So the +1 damage does not apply to smite. People get that wrong all the time. I used to. So 105, you clear up 35 points there. The Grandmaster, I do like how he's kitted out. I think Hammer of Righteousness needs to come off, though. Something you might notice after playing Grey Knights for a while, as I tried to make the foot version work for a little bit, the Terminator version. I do think the Silver Tide is better. They're insanely CP intensive. So you need all of your CP. Like, legitimately, I think Sigil of Exigence.
Sigil's an automatic.
Unyielding Anvil on somebody, probably the Grandmaster, and then Psychic Epitome, and you start at 3.
So I kind of want. It's better on the Grandmaster anyways, though, because he's got the bigger base. He's going to be more centralized on stuff.
Yep, he can also teleport over and then put OBSEC on an objective that they didn't think of.
100%.
It's pretty good.
So let's bump Drago. Let's get rid of a Rhino, and let's turn these Paladins into something different.
Yeah, Voidsman I also want to get rid of. Also, the Librarian goes to 105. The Kami Melta, Omen of Incursion, Curious of Sacrifice, all can get off him. You need the CP. You start at 2 here, and that is 3. Honestly, I don't
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Honestly, 3. I don't even love 3 CP. I kind of want to start at 4 or even 5, which is not easy.
We got a bat on this. So we lose Drago. Let's lose a Rhino. Let's lose the Voidsman. Let's tone down that character just a bit and switch things out so we get Grandmaster with Unyielding. That gives us enough points for 30 Inceptors.
Yeah, so
and now we got to
the
talk
Brotherhood,
about
the Librarian, plus the Nemesis Dread Knight, plus 15 strikes, plus 15 purifiers, plus 30 interceptors is 1740.
I don't hate one Rhino. It gives us some options for some nonsense.
I get that. That leaves us with 180, which could be Drago back in, but I don't really know why you would need him. I think that just becomes, like, that point you could include a unit of 3 or 4 Paladins. And just have them anchor something down. I don't hate one unit of 5 Paladins casting Armor and Resilience and just being a brick somewhere, because they are not bad at that role. And they're what, 225 at that. So
just feels like we can add more stuff. We can really overload people. The thing is that this list, the thing that I do like about the Silver Tide list is you're bringing enough guys where it's just really difficult for your opponent to deal with that many bodies, that many smites, that many just 2 damage attacks. It does add up.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look at that. Let me do the math again. There's a lot of just entering numbers in a calculator when you build lists a lot of the time.
Yeah, like this is an excellent list, and it's 2,500. Damn it.
So it's 170. We could also include Crow in here, who I do like. I think we need a little more.
I do like Crow. He's very
Dominus
cheap.
Power casting.
He's also very cheap for what he does.
He is also very cheap. And then we end up with 170, which can be a Rhino and potentially a second Rhino, or you cut both of those and you get like just more dudes, which I kind of do want. I kind of want more dudes.
More bros in the go.
I want more bros in the go. So if we cut the Rhino, and let's say we cut Crow because screw it, we're talking nonsense. 260 is what we have left after 30 interceptors, 15 strikes, 15 purifiers, and then the 2 characters. Legitimately, we could cut the Grandmaster. He does take up 2 CP, which is vital, and he has 240 points.
I do like the guy with the sigil. He is nice.
He is
the
good.
big
I'm not
base with
advocating cutting him.
Unyielding plus the sigil is very nice. We'll put that in the list, tell you the truth, Jacob, because you got options.
Yeah. Well, you're volunteering me to do that, but that's okay. I will do it.
Yeah.
Actually, tell you what, I will post up the list, Brad. You post up the secondaries.
I can do that.
It's going to be in the fix my list as soon as we're done with this.
However, Nick already put it in. he's not wrong.
Get the good bits. Warp Ritual, maybe. I think we did end up taking out the Psyker. So then, like, biggest and the best is pretty good.
Biggest and the best. You can also just go punchy. Kill more guys. Kill more people in the fight phase.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave the Grandmaster in here. I'm putting my foot down.
I do think the Grandmaster should stay, but it's always worth considering. Amixum's list is 30 strikes, 30 interceptors, Grandmaster, Librarian. I like all that. Words of Power, Chaplain, and Banner, do not like that. I would rather cut them and get Purifiers in there. Just legitimately more fellas. I'm sure that they do good work. Like, I'm sure that you kill everybody in combat with that. But I kind of think if they're close to you, they're dead anyway. And I just want more fellas.
Jesus. You feel like lots of dudes in the list. I just finished my army for the November GT. 36 Crude Hounds, 9 Crotox Riders, 240 Crude Party, 3 Crude Shapers, and the Ethereal and some Sniper dudes. That is all of the bros. Dish, 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 dish.
Oh, my word. Jacob, I'm not sure what you're sorry about. Brad and I are just having fun. I'm totally fine with typing up a list and sending it to you. That's totally not a problem. It's going to be posted in the Fix My List thing. I also kind of want to get it down so that if I want to reference it later and maybe play that list.
I was just thinking to myself on that. I'm like, send it over to me too, because I kind of like it.
Yeah, it actually just bangs. Like, so yeah, I do want to actually write it down somewhere so I can copy and paste it to Brad and then just be like, all right, so in the future, if I'm playing Orks, I'm just going to play that.
I saw John in chat, John DeFrank. I think he was already running that. He's down the street from me.
Yeah. I mean, that list bops hard. So I do like that. That sounds really good. So back to Grey Knights, right? We're talking about fellas. That's what we're after.
30 interceptors, 15 strikes, 15 purifiers, Brotherhood Librarian that we fixed, Grandmaster that we switched a little bit around, and 1 Rhino is where my head's at. And then we have points for
180, I think. We have enough points for a unit of strikes and then not much else.
Does that include the Rhino already?
Yes.
Okay.
What I kind of want is to take out the Rhino, say, get out of here, Rhino, include another character, like instead of the Rhino, include Crow, include a unit of strikes, and then like some servitors.
Let's go Crow, servitors, unit.
Yeah. I think Crow servitors unit is let me see. So 240 plus 105 plus 90 plus 440 because I'm including 4 units of strikes. 345 for 3 units of purifiers. 720 for 30 interceptors, and then 2 units of servitors is exactly 2,000 points.
I like it. I love everything about it.
Yep, I think that's I think that's where I'd put it. So in summary, Librarian, Grandmaster, Nemesis, Dread Knight, Crow. 4 units of 5 strikes, 3 units of 5 purifiers, 2 units of servitors, 30 interceptors. That's where I'd go. Grandmaster, Nemesis, Dread Knight gets Unyielding Anvil. And then the Brotherhood Librarian gets Psychic Epitome, no Combi Melta, no Curious of Sacrifice, no Omen of Incursion. That's where I'd put it.
In like Flint. Ready to fist bump out of here?
Of course.
Dish, 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 dish,